Welcome to the IMPLAN Quick Start Guide 6. Detailed analysis using the Industry Impact Analysis Detailed Event Type. In this video, we'll be assessing the economic impact of construction and operations of a new business. The city of Monroe, North Carolina was chosen as the site of a new 100,000 square foot facility for an adhesives manufacturer. The facility will house manufacturing operations. Construction of the facility will take place in 2024. We don't have much information about the construction of the plant itself, but we know that the cost to construct the facility will run $100 million adjusted for inflation. We also know that after the construction is completed in 2024, the operations of the manufacturer will begin in 2025 with $50 million in annual production. That includes 200 wage and salary employees with 0 proprietors. In IMPLAN, we can model each of these values utilizing an industry impact analysis detailed event type. Let's jump into IMPLAN and demonstrate how easy this can be. Starting from the IMPLAN dashboard, navigate to the Regions screen by clicking the Regions tile or the Regions icon from the vertical navigation. When considering the data year for this project, we want to select the year of the project or as close to it as possible. With the release of the new 2022 IMPLAN annual US data, this would be our best option. We know that the construction and operations of this manufacturing plant will both take place in Monroe, North Carolina. We would select Union County in the 2022 data year, which is where Monroe is located, and then click Create Impact, which will bring us to the impact screen. First, we'll have to give the project a name, such as Construction and Operations Example. When we press Save, IMPLAN will bring us to the Impacts page. From the Impacts page, we can see the Union County region on the right and our single blank event. We will use this blank event to input our construction values as an Industry Impact Analysis Detailed event type. Industry Impact Analysis Detailed is an event type in IMPLAN that allows you to enter any piece of the Leontief production function to analyze a change in production. This includes wage and salary employment, proprietor employment, total employment, employee compensation, proprietor income, total labor income, taxes on production and imports, other property income, intermediate inputs, or total output. If the type of business is known to the analyst and the operations require customizations to the Leontief production function, then an Industry Impact Analysis Detailed event is the most appropriate to model the impact, as it allows for more control over the user's inputs. If the input structure of the activity you are modeling is different than the typical company or businesses that would fall into this IMPLAN industry, you can also make edits to the industry spending pattern within this event type as well. Because we know we are building out a new manufacturing structure, we can select IMPLAN Construction Industry 51, Construction of New Manufacturing Structures. The value entered as industry output for any IMPLAN construction industry should be the full cost of the structure and only the structure. This includes both hard and soft costs. Additional considerations of cost attributed to construction can be found in our support article, Construction, Building the Analysis, which will be linked in the description. If we had additional values to input here, such as taxes or intermediate inputs, we absolutely could, but we only have a single value which can be modeled as output. This $100 million that we've entered as output includes labor income, taxes on production and imports, other property income, as well as intermediate inputs. IMPLAN will utilize the underlying industry Leontief production function for Industry 51 to estimate which percentage of output will be allocated to the individual subcomponents, as well as the employment level associated with this construction project for all values that are left blank. We will also need a second IIA event to model the operations separate from construction. I'll click Add New Event, and title this new event Operations, which again will be an Industry Impact Analysis Detailed event type. We can utilize the Next to IMPLAN search to find which IMPLAN industry would best capture this type of manufacturing. If we type in adhesive manufacturing, we can see that various different types of adhesive manufacturing are captured in IMPLAN Industry 176, adhesive manufacturing, so we can use this for our example project. For our known operational values, we have total production, which we can model as output, as well as some more detailed information about the employment makeup of this plant. We know that there will be $50 million in annual production beginning in 2025, so we can enter that as our total output. We also know that the plant will employ 200 people, none of whom are proprietors, so we can specify that there are 200 wage and salary workers with 0 proprietors. Note that the results would be exactly the same had we left wage and salary employment blank and set proprietor employment to 0 with 200 total employment, as total employment is simply equal to wage and salary employment plus proprietor employment. The same can be said about labor income. Because we have specified that there will not be any proprietors, there will also not be any proprietor income, only employee compensation earned by those wage and salary workers. Now onto our groups in the groups panel. Our default dollar year is set to 2023, which is the current year. However, we know that the construction cost is adjusted for inflation to $2024 dollars, so we will change that in the dollar year dropdown. Additionally, the operations values we have are an adjusted $2025 dollars, so we will need a second Union County group with dollar year 2025. We can easily duplicate our first group and change the dollar year, giving each of our groups a unique name. Simply select More Options and Duplicate Group. I'll set our second group's dollar year equal to 2025 and give each of these groups a unique name. The last step before we run the project is to drag and drop our events into the appropriate groups. So we'll grab the event handle for our construction event and drag it to our construction group, and drag our operations event to the operations group. Now we can run the analysis. When the project is finished running, you can view the results by clicking View Results from the Impacts page or by clicking on the results icon from the vertical navigation. These are the results of the construction of the new adhesives manufacturer, as well as their first year of operations reported in 2023 dollar year. Because we ran our project in differing dollar years, we can switch the data year filter to the year of our input values to see a match between our event values and results. Also, remember it's important to distinguish between temporary impacts of construction and long-term impacts from operations. The continued operations of the adhesives manufacturer will have yearly impacts. For the purposes of reporting results, we would want to filter by both events so that we can segment construction impacts versus operation impacts. We can do that by filtering on event name and changing the dollar year filter. When filtering on 2024 dollar year and our construction event, we can see a one-to-one match between our input value of $100 million and our direct output. We can also see that the one-year construction project supports about 802 total employees that earn just under $61 million in labor income. The construction project also supports about $76.6 million of total value added and over $135 million of total output. When filtering on 2025 dollar year and our operations event, we can see a one-to-one match for the direct employment value that we input on the impact screen, as well as the direct output value that we specified within our operations event. The annual operations of the adhesives manufacturer will support about 260 total employees who earn over $23 million of labor income. Additionally, the adhesives manufacturer will support over $31 million of total value added and just under $61 million of total output. Thanks for watching IMPLAN Quick Start Guide 6, Detailed Analysis using the Industry Impact Analysis Detailed Event Type.